All right, welcome back. Let's get moving on this thing. It's been a week, and I got the pots in that I ordered. Just a little background on me. I video on Fridays. I spend the whole day Friday videoing, and then I edit on Saturday and I post on Sunday. It's just the way I do it. So when I need to order pots, I usually get them in by the time I'm ready to video again for the following week. So the pots are in and we're ready to go. I got the pin in, and I also got the cam chain guides in. I just placed them in here. They're just loose. I don't want to tighten these up yet because I still need to put the head on, and I have them kind of down out of the way. I'm not too sure how I feel about this thing still being broken, but once I put the head on and everything, I want to see, if there's any play in that down there with a possibility of it being able to maybe come off. I don't think it will. I think it broke because it threw a chain at one time. That's probably why it got rebuilt. But yeah, so let me put you in a stand and let's get assembling. Here's the alignment pin, Yamaha pot. That's the pot number if anyone's interested in ordering it in the future. And the pot actually cost me, which is ridiculous, $8.50. All right, let's pop that in. There it is, nice new. Should pop right in. All right, we're all set with that now. Now I'm gonna pop on the new head gasket. And these only go on one way. And this is the way it goes on. Obviously the big hole here goes over the O-ring over here. And we're just gonna pop that on like that. You guys remember the head's all rebuilt, looks very nice, ready to go. If you guys care to see that video, as a standalone, it's in the library. Just go back a couple of videos and you'll be able to see the complete rebuild on that head if you're interested in seeing it. If you're new to the channel and you haven't already. But I'm sure most of you have already seen it. There's a shorter side and a longer side. And they have these bronze washers. So you can see here that these are a little bit difficult to get in. That one there kind of went in. There we go, there's one. And then this one. You gotta snake it through the frame and all that. And you gotta move the head. Let me try to see if I can get this to move a little bit. Lift it up. So I can get this in. All right, we're good to go. Let me show you what I got real quick. It's locked in here, up inside the head, and it's in the spot where it needs to be right here. I mean, there's a little bit of movement, but not much. There's no way it can come out. This can't turn because it's tight inside the cavity, and it's up inside the head, so I'm not worried about it. All right, I'm gonna tighten these up, come back when I'm done. All right, guys, we're gonna talk head bolts now. I'm gonna start with 15 foot-pounds, and I'm gonna come back and do 30. Been getting different. I went online and looked it up. Some people say 29 foot-pounds, some people say 32. I'm gonna do 30. All right, let's start getting these towards the 15 anyways, and I'll do a crisscross pattern until I hit the 15. All right, they're all at 15 foot-pounds. I'm gonna crank them up to 30. You guys get the idea. All right, head bolts are torqued to 30 pounds. Now we're gonna put these guys in. I'm gonna tighten these two up, and I'm gonna tighten up the jug bolt. All right, now we're gonna put the chain guide on, but first, I think I want to install the new timing chain. There we go. All right, this should work a little easier now. I'm gonna put a little bit of Loctite on these because I don't want them coming out. I don't know if you guys can see the Loctite. A little bit of red. I don't want these coming out while the motor's running. And I'm just gonna torque them in with the torque gun. Good enough. All right, guys, we gotta put the flywheel on because the flywheel has the timing marks. So let's do that now. I'm gonna put the starter drive gear in, but first I wanna oil it up with some oil. Put some oil on the shaft here. All right, I had the shaft in backwards. Goes in this way, and I'll put a little bit of oil on this little nub here. Oh, I still got the gear on backwards. Goes the other way, but I had it on the wrong side of the shaft, clearly. Oh, no. All right. Looks like I got to dig for that. Let me grab my magnet. You guys can see how easy it is to drop something inside the motor. Let me show you this. That washer fell right in here. See? That's how easy it is to lose something inside the motor. You got to be very careful. That's the second time. That's the second time that I lost something in the motor. All right, it's in. Let me get the nut and the washer for it. I want to set the flywheel because the flywheel is actually held on by this collar and this bolt, but they're held on through the side cover. But I want to set the flywheel on the tapered shaft. So I'm going to put this on here, put the screw in here. And I'm just going to drive this in until it sets the flywheel. I think I want to try to crank the engine over a little bit just to make sure everything's free. See if we can do that. Let me detach the timing chain here real quick. Put it in my hand. Let's make sure we don't have any issues. I'm just going to hold it up. Let's see if we can crank the engine over. See if it turns free. Seems like it is. No more crunchy. Sounds really good. Sounds real good. All right. I'm gonna put the top dead center right there. The marks are up right there. I don't think they're obviously not going to be in the exact right place, but for now they'll work. Let me tie this up again. All right, that ain't going nowhere. All right. I think now what we want to do is work on the side cover and set this all up before we go up top here, because I need to get the side cover on in order to line the timing marks up. All right, guys. I ran into some problems. I had to take it off the machine. I got everything loose except for down in here. Like this screw right here is stripped out. I can't get it. I don't want to damage anything, so I might have to drill that out, but I need to get this out of here. I need to fix this. So I guess what I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna try with a pair of vice grips first and see what happens. You know what that means? I gotta drill it out. So let's get to it. And this is something I really don't want to do because I don't want these metal chips going all over the place, sticking to magnets and stuff. All right, she's out. All right, what I want to do now is I want to try to pull this out of here without getting metal everywhere. pump the chips off of that. The barrel. All right, now let's pull this out of here. Place it off to the side. I'll clean all that up in a minute. Now we just got to figure out how to get that screw out of there. I got these bits and they're supposed to take out strip screws. I don't know. Maybe I should have tried it first. Anyways, this is the set right here. I've never used them. I forget where I picked them up. Anyways, they're supposed to drill and bite in and supposedly get it out. I don't know. Let's give it a try. Never used them. Don't know what I'm in for here. Wow. Amazing. This thing worked unbelievable. Wow. Well, there you have it. I don't know. I guess if any of you guys are interested in these, they're called the toughest, and they're called screw out. Again, I'd like to, you know, if anyone's interested in buying these, I don't know where to get them. They're called Handy, or the Handyman, and they're called Toughest. And that's about all I got for you, because I don't remember where I got them. I know they were given to me by somebody, but I don't. First time I ever used them, and wow, I'm sold. All right, now we got to clean this thing up. Not a big deal. Let me get reset up. All right, guys, it's all cleaned up. Looks really good. I worked on the gasket surface here, really good. I spent more time on this than I thought I was going to have to. This surface here was in really rough shape. I got it pretty flat now. It should seal. I don't think I need to use RTV, but it's all cleaned up nice, front and back. So we're in good shape there. Let's get on the stator. Here's the stator. You guys can see right here how, let me try to put a little white behind it here, how chewed up these are. I mean, you can see bare wires. These can arc out and interfere with the spark. And you can see this is just filthy. There is just sludge on this. So I'm gonna clean this up a little bit before we get moving into other things. And it doesn't take much to clean it up. It's just sludge. A lot of this stuff comes out when you run the engine for a little while and then change the oil. If you keep up on your oil changes, then you won't even get sludge. But this bike, I don't think was maintained very well. But I'll clean it all up, and hopefully the next owner will take better care of it. Speaking of new owners, I'm pretty sure I already have this thing sold. One of the people that have already bought multiple bikes off me wants to buy this for his younger son. So I'm pretty sure that when I get it done, he'll buy it, because he's been very happy with everything he's purchased from me so far. He hasn't had any issues, obviously. But it's tough buying used stuff, because you don't really know what you're getting into. And a lot of people out there want crazy money for this stuff, even though it's on its last leg. And somebody who doesn't know much about them isn't going to know what to look for. And they're going to buy something, they're going to pay $3 or $4 grand for it, and it's going to blow up in a couple of weeks. So anyone that buys something from me is getting something that they can run forever, and I usually ask on the low end of what it's worth, just so I can sell them quick. All right, I think I'm going to use duct tape. Duct tape seems to hold up better than electrical tape when it gets wet. There we go. It's going now. All right. That should work fine. Cover that up. They should knock out. We got this one section right here that the sleeve, protective sleeve, is off, but the plastic covering the wire itself isn't damaged. So I'm not gonna do anything with that. Let's move on to the other one. Let's put a zip tie on this to hold it in place. There we go. That'll do. All All right, we're in place, and of course we're going to use red Loctite, and I need to get my drill bit. All right, let's Loctite these in. I know I'm coming out. We'll throw the old red on there. All right, that's in. Now, before I put this piece in, what we need to do is I need to RTV that. But I can put the pickup in, and the pickup's got to go down underneath here. And we need to protect it, so it needs to go down under this, and down in there like that. And we don't really need to put any Loctite on these. I'm not really worried about these coming out. All right, they're in. That's in. That's in where it's supposed to be. It's well down underneath. Should be pretty protected under there now. If you guys can see, it's supposed to be down inside these slots here. It wasn't. It wasn't down in there before. Let me pull this back a little bit and you can see it. It wasn't down in there before, but it will be in there this time, and it has to be tucked behind that tower. So it'll be good now. I need to RTV this in, and we can assemble. So what I want to do first is I think I want to put this on the bike. I am actually going to RTV the bottom of this a little bit. I usually don't do that. I'm going to do it this time because this part of the case down here is a little bit damaged, and I don't want it to leak. So that's the reason for it. I definitely want to have plenty on here. I don't want this thing leaking. I'm going to put a little bit on the bottom of this. Not a lot, just kind of a little coat. I don't really like doing this, but I'm just putting some on here. Very, very thin. Not a lot. Just because I don't want it to leak. This should do just what I need. It'll also hold it in place so it won't rip. I'm gonna go put that on now. Okay, now what we're gonna do is stick these down inside of here. Try to get them both to stay in place. All right, they're in. This guy goes in now. And I got some new screws. I got these screws out of my bin, so I have matching screws. And they're 10 millimeter, so we should be fine with that. No different than what was in there before on one side anyway. And at least we'll have matching screws. Do its job. All right, it's in. And if you look down in there, you can see that it's covering everything properly now, so we shouldn't have any issues with any rubbing. All right. Let's move over to the bike and install this thing. All right, the gasket's on. It's in place. Let's get the rest of this going, shall we? I'm gonna bring all these in by hand. I don't like using an impact gun on these little screws for obvious reasons. Sorry for the interruption. That was my brother-in-law, Todd. He called me because he wanted me to pick him up a pack of cigarettes. I'm in Boston, and he's in Northern Arizona. Always the jokester. Anyways, shout out to you, Todd. See you in a few weeks. Anyway, let's get back to what we were doing. I got all the bolts back in. I tightened them all up by hand. I'm gonna put the collar back in, clip back in here. I just have to plug the stator back in. Up here, it's just not plugged in yet. Yeah, so let's do that. I'm gonna put this bolt back on here, replace that O-ring, and then we're going to put it on top dead center with the flywheel, and we're gonna install the cam chain and all that good stuff. And I'm absolutely amazed that I actually hit that first shot. You guys see that? Timing mark right there with the notch in the head. I literally hit that first shot. All right, screws in. I'm just gonna give it a quick torque. That's good. And as you guys can see now, I don't even have a chain tensioner in there, and the cam chain is pretty tight on the sprocket right now. It's not loose or anything like that. So I think we're in good shape here. Put a little tension on that, we're looking good. All right, I'm going to put the tensioner in. All right, to put the chain tensioner in, basically you take the screw out of the end hand. There's a long spring. I'll show it to you right here. This is basically what's inside of it. You take that out, and then you pull this little tiny lever back right here with your thumb, and you just push the plunger back in till it's all the way down, and then you install it, and it's pretty much that simple. This is self-adjusting, so you don't have to worry about adjustment on this as long as the adjuster itself works. And I don't think I've ever seen one of these fail because of the way the spring is. It doesn't have an internal spring like the 450s do. Right, that's tight. Now what we're going to do is we're going to put the spring back in, and I'll put tension on the chain. You can hear the tensioner go out and lock. Tension is in, it's all tight. You can see the chain. There's no play on the chain now at all. There used to be a ton of play on it. There's no play on it at all now. And this is tight. Everything's tight. The head's tight. I think what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do the valve lash. I'm going to do that off camera. If you guys want to see how that's done, go back to video 1 when I was troubleshooting this. I did the valve lash in that video, and I explained exactly how to do it. So I'm going to do it off camera. And when I'm done doing the valve lash, I'm going to put the top motor mounts in because I don't have them in now. It's just easier to get my hands in there and do the valve lash with them out. So I'm going to do valve lash, put the motor mount in, and come back. I got the valve lash done. I got the caps on loose. The reason why they're on loose is because I like to fire the engine up. Well, not fire it up, but I like to crank it over with the starter motor to make sure oil's getting to the top of the motor before I actually start the motor. I don't have any oil in it just yet, so I'm leaving those loose. I'm not going to tighten them yet because I want to do that still. So at this point, well, the motor mounts are in also up top. Let me show you that real quick. The motor mounts are in. And just a bit of a tech tip, you want to always torque and tighten the motor mount on the motor first, because you don't want to twist the motor at all and put stress on the castings. So you want to tighten this first, leave this loose up here, and then tighten these in after. And you'll avoid putting any stress on the head, the castings, or anything like that. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put you in the stand so you guys can watch. This is one of the processes that I like to do after I finish assembly, is I like to crank the motor over 3 or 4 times. Make sure, number 1, that there's no interference, and number 2, that after I get done doing it on 3-4 rotations, that when I stop on top dead center down here, I'm at top dead center up here, just to make sure that you know, the cam chain was sitting right when I set it and all that. So let's do that now. Let's go around, let's say 3 times. And I'm watching the time I mark up here. That's 1. That's 2. Let's do one more time. And let me bring this up to top of the center. So there's 2 marks on the flywheel. One is for fire and one is for top dead center. You want top dead center. And it looks good. So the F comes before the T. I'll look down in here. You guys can see that down there. Try to hold the light so you can see it. That's the T. It's on the mark. And then when you come up here, get the light so that you can see that. You can see that the line here is marked, lined up with that. And we did 3 full rotations. I didn't feel any binding, I didn't feel any interference, and the timer marks lined up perfectly. So at this point, I think what I'm going to do next is install the oil filter. Alright guys, I pulled the cover off, and we still got a ton of oil coming out of there. You guys want to take a look at that? I don't see any debris on it or anything. So, still got oil coming out of the engine. Alright, the timing inspection cover, I put a brand new O-ring on it, so let's install that. Alright, side cover's on, it's all cleaned up, looks nice. Everything's buttoned up, we got the plug in here. I'm probably going to throw the side cover on here, just for now, to keep dust and dirt out of there. Alright guys, before we get to the carburetor, I want to address this head pipe, because I need to put the head pipe back on. And it is really ugly and dirty and rusty. And I'm going to show you guys how to clean this up and make it look a little bit better. Just a regular, this was green at one time. As you can see, they last a long time. So WD this thing up, and we're probably going to use a lot of WD on this. And the pipe is definitely going to smoke when you first start it, but we need to make this thing look a little bit better because it looks terrible. And this is basically what we're going to do. We're just going to keep scrubbing it. Alright, I'm going to continue to clean this and come back when I'm done. Alright guys, I got the head pipe on and it looks pretty good. One thing I didn't show you guys when I was going over exactly what I got with this machine when I bought it was this, because I actually had it underneath my other 4-wheel and I forgot I even had it. This thing came with a HMF pipe, full exhaust. This is the reason why I bought the bike. This exhaust, I could sell it for exactly what I paid for this bike, believe it or not. So, yeah, that's one of the reasons why I bought the bike. And I hadn't showed that to you guys yet. All right, let me get this off of here. And let me put the screw back in this. So this will be out of the way. And this is missing a bolt as well. It was missing one when I bought it, so I'm gonna have to go in my parts bin and grab one. And I forget where that wire went, but I saw it hanging there a minute ago. I think this is it right here. I think this has to go down through here. Yeah, and this connects to that. For the reverse light. Actually, you know what? I think I might have messed that up. I think that's gonna go behind the steering stem. There we go. All right, that's in. And like I said, I'll have to get a screw for that. All right, let's let's pop this on there for now. And one of the things is I don't have the exhaust clamp for this, so I'm gonna have to order one. And it looks to me like somebody snapped the bolt off that was in here and they welded it. That's not good. There it is, it's all the way up now. That's exactly what happened. The bolt broke off here, and let me show you guys real quick. You can see right there, the bolt broke off and someone welded it. Great. And they welded it up top there too. So I started drilling it and I was like, you know what? I got a welder. I'm gonna weld a screw on here and then I'll just use a nut to hold the exhaust on there with a couple of washers. Should be perfect. That'll do. All right, that's it right there. Looks good. All right, so that's on. That's a good shape. I'll put a coat of paint on that after. I'm going to paint this anyways when I get back to do the rear end. I need to get a clamp for this. And one thing I just want to say, it's very important that you set the head pipe. That you set the head pipe with the exhaust on and loose. That way you get it set right. And always tighten the head pipe first before you tighten anything else, and then work your way to the back. You don't want to crack the head, you don't want to break a stud off or anything like that. Always start at the head and work your way back. And make sure that you're clearing everything. You're not hitting any metal at all. You're not hitting any rubber, any steel, nothing. This is clearing all the way back. It looks good. This exhaust is going to sound really good. And again, one of the reasons why I bought this is because of the exhaust. All right, let's see, what's next? All right, I think I'm going to throw the spark plug in there because I don't want to leave that hole open. And I think that's it. I guess I'm going to call it. I got a lot into this, a lot of video done today, so there's plenty of content for me to make a video with. What I'm going to do now is, I was hoping to get this thing running in this video. It didn't happen. I had problems with the stator and the flywheel and all that, which you guys saw, so I had to address that. I wasn't planning on having to drill out those screws and all that. I thought it was going to be a quick and easy repair. It wasn't. It took more time than I thought. Also, the exhaust was kind of a mess. I didn't think I was going to have to weld a stud on there because when I bought this, the exhaust wasn't on it. The head pipe was, but the tailpipe wasn't. So that's fixed and everything else is fixed. So at this point here, I'm going to throw that plug in. I'm going to do it off camera. And when we come back in the next video, we'll do the carburetor and we'll definitely get a first start out of it. Number one, I don't have any oil here anyway. I got to go get some motor oil for it. And we need a carb. Those are coming in the next video. So thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Like, share. Leave some comments if you guys see something on here I missed. If you like something I did. If you don't like something I did, let me know. Also, stay tuned because I'm going to keep telling you guys about the Off-Road Wrecker Olympics out there in Utah that I'm going to. I am going to post a video of when I'm ready to head out there. Which will be when I'm in Utah. But anyways, I'm going to beat that like a dead horse because I want you guys to come out and see me. I want to meet a lot of you guys if you're out there. I don't know. Who knows? We'll see. Anyways, I will see you guys in the next video of this Raptor 350.